Hello students, let me revise first 5 sessions on consignment because we started studying consignment from 30th 5 2021 and last session I took was on when it was just a minute, it was on 17 6 2020. So at the end of May and till the middle part of June we concentrated on consignment. By this time, I think you might have forgot what exactly consignment and what we studied under consignment. So let me revise those 5 sessions within a very short period of time. We know that in first session we discussed what is consignment, who are the parties associated with consignment and some important terms in consignment. See, under what is consignment we came to know that it's an agreement between the principal and the agent, where principal or the consignor is sending his goods to sell on his behalf at his risk to the agent who is situated in different place at a price as fixed by the consignor, and consignee will get commission for this service. So this is all about consignment. So when we look at parties associated with consignment, there are two parties, consignor and consignee. Assume that I have my office or my head office in Udupi. I want to sell my product in Hassan where I do not have my own branch. What I will do is, one who is ready to sell my product at Hassan, I'll send my goods to that business concern who is there in Hassan and who is ready to sell my product. I will not sell my goods to the person who is there or institution who is there which is there in Hassan. I will just send. So that person or that institution will sell my goods to the customer at Hassan at my risk. Try to understand, at my risk, not at their risk. For that service, they will get a commission. So this is nothing but concern. So there is an agreement between me and the person who is ready to sell my product at Hassan, or the institution which is ready to sell my product at Hassan. Try to understand, because I am not establishing my own concern in Hassan. Instead of me establishing my own concern, I will sell my product at Hassan through someone else who is ready to sell my product. So I am considered as consignor. That other person who is there in Hassan who is ready to sell my product at my risk is known as consignee. So there are two parties associated with the consignment. One is consignor, other one is consignee. There are certain important terms we need to understand under consignment. The first one is goods sent on consignment. The next one is consignment accounts. The next one is consignment commission. Let me see what is goods sent on consignment. Whatever I will send, try to understand, I will send particularly to the person who is at Hassan or the institution which is ready to sell my product at Hassan. So what I will send to them to sell on my behalf at Hassan, that is known as goods sent on consignment. When I send goods to them, that is known as goods sent on consignment. Consignment accounts. So being a consignor, being the person who is responsible for that goods, because I am the one who is selling my goods not directly but through someone who is ready to sell my goods at Hassan. I am selling goods at Udupi directly, but I am not selling goods at Hassan directly. I am selling goods at Hassan indirectly to some other person or some other institution who is ready to sell my product at Hassan. So I will also prepare certain accounts in my book, being the consignor. He will also prepare certain accounts in his book, being a consignee, being an agent who is appointed to sell my product on commission basis. He is not taking any risk. So he is just acting as an agent to sell my product on commission. So he will also prepare certain accounts. I will also prepare certain accounts. That accounts are known as consignment accounts. What are all that accounts that we will see later? Then you know that for goods sold by a person who is there at Hassan, my goods sold by that person who is there at Hassan or that institution which is there at Hassan, they get a commission. There are three types of commission. One is ordinary commission, next one is direct credit commission, next one is special commission. What is ordinary commission? For the total sales affected by the person who is there at Hassan. For example, if I send goods worth rupees 3 lakh to him, if he sells 2 lakh worth rupees goods at Hassan, for the 2 lakh rupees a certain percentage of total sales will be given as a commission to him. That commission is known as ordinary commission. when the person who is at Hassan, or the institution which is selling my goods at Hassan, can also sell goods on cash basis or on credit basis. When they sell goods on credit basis, there is a chance of bad debt. Bad debt means not recovering credit sales. So, in case if the person or the institution which is ready to sell my goods at Hassan is ready to take risk associated with the credit sale, particularly bad debt, for that I give extra commission. That commission is known as del creditor commission. Try to understand. If they are ready to take risk arises out of credit sales, particularly bad debt, the risk associated with bad debt which arises out of credit sale. If they are ready to take that risk also, so then I will give them extra commission. That commission is known as del creditor commission. The next one is special or overriding commission. Whenever I send my goods to person who is at Hassan, so what I will do is I will specify them. This is the price at which you can sell my product. But he can sell at price higher than the price which was specified by me, and if there is so much demand for my product at Hassan. So in case if he sells my goods at a price higher than the price at which it was sent, either at cost or at invoice, whatever it is, so then that extra sales generated by him will be given commission. Try to understand. If consignee sells goods at a price higher than the price at which it was sent by consignor, for that extra sales generated by consignee, extra commission will be given. That commission is known as overriding or special commission. So this is all about certain aspects. And the next aspects we discussed in second session, where we discussed advance, pro forma invoice, then account sales, consignment stock, loss of goods sent on consignment, normal loss and abnormal loss, accounting treatment of normal and abnormal loss. Advance. See, whenever I send goods to person who is at Hassan, that consignee, after receiving the goods, he will take certain time to sell my goods at Hassan. I cannot wait till he sells. So, I will, what is that? I will ask for certain amount which is equal to some percentage of cost of goods sent to them as advance. So that advance money given by consignee to consignor immediately after receiving goods from consignor, that is known as advance. That advance he may give in cash, or he may give in terms of check, or he may give by accepting the bill sent along with the goods consigned to them. So these are the different ways of giving advance by consignee to consignor. The next term is pro forma invoice. See, when you purchase goods anywhere outside, you will get the invoice. Yes or no? But here you are not making use of the term invoice, because I am not selling goods to the person who is at Hassan, who is ready to sell my product at Hassan. No. So what I am doing, I am just sending my goods. So that's why what document I will send along with the goods sent is known as pro forma invoice, which contains all details of goods sent and price at which it was sent. Everything, all details regarding goods sent will be there in that invoice. So this invoice is known as pro forma invoice. We have already discussed in detail about difference between invoice and pro forma invoice. The next thing is account sales. So pro forma invoice is prepared by consignor and sent to consignee along with goods consigned, which contains all details with regard to goods sent to consignee. Account sales. So whenever consignee receives the goods, he starts selling it at his place. So when he starts selling it, either on cash basis or on credit basis, he will send a report of that goods sold. So that report sent by consignee to consignor for the sales effected by consignee is known as account sales. So we have discussed in detail about difference between account sales and pro forma invoice, which is very important from the point of view of examination. The next concept is consignment stock. What is consignment stock? So whenever I send goods to consignee, at the end of an accounting period, consignee may sell whole goods, or consignee may end up with certain goods not sold. So goods not sold by consignee at the end of an accounting period, which is still with the consignee, such goods are known as consignment stock. So unsold goods lies with the consignee is known as consignment stock. The next concept to be studied is loss of goods sent on consignment. All these aspects we have discussed in detail. So there are two types of loss, normal loss as well as abnormal loss, which we have already discussed in detail, particularly in second session. So we even concentrated on what is normal loss, what happens when there is normal loss. You know that there is no separate treatment for normal loss, but it can create impact on calculation of consignment stock. But there is separate treatment for abnormal loss. So how to calculate abnormal loss, everything we discussed in detail. And accounting treatment of normal and abnormal loss also we discussed in detail, particularly in second session. In third session, we concentrated on few more aspects, particularly recurring expenses and non-recurring expenses. Which are recurring expenses to consigner, which are recurring expenses to consignee, which are non-recurring expenses to consigner, which are non-recurring expenses to consignee, which we discussed in detail. So those expenses which will be incurred again and again, mostly by consignee, are recurring. Only those expenses which is incurred only once on consignment, incurred when goods are sent from place of consignor to place of consignee, is known as non-recurring expenses. Which are recurring, which are non-recurring is very important. So you need to by heart examples for recurring expenses to consignor and consignee, non-recurring expenses to consignor and consignee. So these are the various important concepts that we should aware of, or aspects that we should aware of in consignment. Try to understand. You should know who are the parties associated with, what is goods sent on consignment, what is consignment account, what is consignment commission, what are the different types of consignment commission, what is advance, what is pro forma invoice, what is account sales, what is consignment stock, what is loss of goods sent on consignment, two different types of loss and accounting treatment. What are recurring expenses? What are non-recurring expenses? Example of recurring expenses to consignor and consignee. Examples for non-recurring expenses to consignee and consignor. So these are all the important aspects you should aware of. So you must be very much clear theoretically before we start solving problem on consignment. In fourth session, we concentrated on how to pass entries in the books of consignor. So we need to pass many entries in the books of consignor, but very less entries we are passing in the books of consignor. So let me see how to pass entries in the books of consignor. To record the opening stock, try to understand. In case if there is contact between consignor and consignee from many years, unsold goods of last year will become opening stock of current year. To record that opening stock, the entry in the books of consignor is consignment account debtor to consignment stock account. When he sent goods to consignor during current year, journal entry consignment account debtor to goods sent on consignment. When consignor incurs expenses, journal entry consignment account debtor to cash. When consignee incurs expenses, journal entry consignment account debtor to consignee's account. For goods returned by consignee, what entry we pass to record goods consigned, reverse entry we pass when goods is returned by consignee, goods sent on consignment account debtor to consignment account. For commission due to consignee, consignment account debtor to consignee's account. When consignee sends account sales or report sales to the consignor, journal entry consignee's account debtor to consignment account. When consignor receives advance, so he may receive in check or cash or in the form of acceptance of bill by the consignee, journal entry in the books of consignor, cash account data, bank account data or bills receivable account data to consignee's account. For record goods unsold with the consignee at the end of the year, consignment stock account debtor to consignment account, reverse entry to the opening stock. For recording consignment profit, consignment account debtor to profit and loss account. If there is a loss, profit and loss account debtor to consignment account. For recording amount due received from consignee. At the end of an accounting period, consignee will give the amount in case if there is a due amount from him. Journal entry is cash account or bank account debtor or bills receivable account debtor to consignee's account. Then goods sent on consignment account should be closed either by purchaser's account or to the trading account. Journal entry is goods sent on consignment account debtor to purchaser's account or trading account. So these are the necessary entries which will appear particularly in the books of consignor. You need to by heart if not possible for you to remember. The next last session, that is on 17/6/2021, we discussed what are the entries we need to pass, additional entries we need to pass in the books of consignor when goods are sent at invoice price, and what entries we need to pass in the books of consignor. See, in fourth session we discussed what are the entries which appears in the books of consignor. All these entries appears, try to understand, when goods are sent by consignor to the consignee at cost price. In case if consignor sends goods at invoice price, then opening stock, closing stock, goods sent, goods returned will be at invoice price. Opening stock means consignment account debtor to consignment stock. Goods sent, consignment account debtor to goods sent on consignment. Goods returned, goods sent on consignment account debtor to consignment. For closing stock, consignment account debtor, consignment stock account debtor to consignment account. In these four transactions, these four entries are recorded at invoice price. Means amount for these four transactions are recorded will be at invoice price because goods are sent at invoice price. If goods are sent at invoice, if goods are sent at cost, all these four transactions will be at cost price. Then no additional entry appears. Only these 14 entries appears. In case if goods are sent at invoice price, all these four transactions will be at invoice price. At that time, we need to recognize load in it. Load in opening stock means we need to pass extra 4 journal entry which indicates recognizing load in opening stock, load in goods sent, load in closing stock and load in goods returned. To record load in opening stock, journal entry stock reserve account debtor to consignment account. To record load in goods sent, journal entries goods sent on consignment account debtor to consignment account. To record load in closing stock, journal entry consignment account debtor to stock reserve account. To recognize load in goods returned, consignment account debtor to goods sent on consignment account. See what entry, load entry we passed for opening stock, reverse journal entry we passed for entering closing stock load. What load entry we passed for goods sent, the reverse journal entry we passed for recording load in goods returned. So these four extra journal entries we need to pass in the books of consignor only if goods are sent at invoice price. So this is all about entries in the books of consignor. Now we need to see what are the entries will come in the books of consignee. Very less entries will come. For giving advance there will be an entry. For incurring expenses there will be an entry. For sales made by him there will be an entry. Then if he purchases goods for himself, there is an entry. For commission due, there is an entry. For the final balance settlement, there will be an entry. Only 7 entries appears in the books of consignee. When he gives advance, journal entries, consignor account data to cash if given in cash, to bank if given in terms of check. If bill is accepted, to bills payable account. When consignee incurs expenses, journal entry is consignor account data to cash. So if he sells goods, if it is cash sales, cash account debtor to consignor account. If it is credit sales, consignment debtors account debtor to consignor's account. If he purchases goods on himself, purchases account debtor to consignor account. For commission due from consignor, so consignor account debtor to commission account. For final balance due to consignor, consignor account debtor to cash, to bank, to bills payable. If he settles final balance due to consignor. If if consignor due certain sum of money, he will receive. Then reverse journal entry, cash account or bank account, bills payable account debtor to consignor. If amount is due from consignee to consignor, this is a journal entry. If amount is due from consignor to consignee, reverse is the journal entries. So these are the 7 important journal entries appears in the books of consignee. So this is all about 5 sessions which we discussed under consignment accounts. We will start solving problems on consignment accounts, particularly from next session. You know that in QT we have already finished all 4 chapters. We are in last chapter. So in between we left this chapter, it is there in financial accounting. Let me complete this chapter. In addition to that, I'll send videos on last chapter of QT also. You just go through this video because here we have not detailed explanation, condensed explanation means I have not explained in detail. I explained what are all the various factors which we discussed from first session to 5th session. Again, you just go through this. Afterwards, you just go through the videos on problems relating to consignment in the books of consignor as well as in the books of consignment. That's all. Thank you. Take care.